Hello, everyone. This is Chala Dincoy, CEO and founder of The Repositioning Expert, coming to you with another edition of my podcast, Naked Marketing, where we talk about honest, authentic mistakes that we've made in our marketing in the past that we've learned from. I have here the wonderfully bald Aaron Smith. And for those of you who think I'm cool for saying that, he's got a really great story to tell us about it. So welcome, Aaron.
Thank you so much. It is really an honor to be here and be a part of your family.
So now I'm going to ask first about the baldness, and then we can talk about your business. Bald before business. How's that?
Well, that does come before in the alphabet, so it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But I guess weaving it together, I used to sell hair care products, but no,
Really?
no.
Oh, that's funny. That would have been hilarious.
No, but all kidding aside, 2 weeks ago we were in a travel 12U team, and I helped coach them, and we were doing horrific. It was a 1-3 start, and of course we got the last seed in the tournament. So of course you've got to play a game, and you have to play the first round, first place team, first seed, and moving. So I told the girls after 1-3, I said, if y'all win it, I'll shave my head.
Wow.
So needless to say, last night was the payout night. So right after practice, they decided to take the guard off, and just, you can imagine that one little streak, and then just all the squeals, all the giggles. I can't believe he did it. You know, the dads are looking at me like they are angry at me, like, how did you do this? What am I going to hear at home? You know, but I'm like, I don't care. You know, I did what I needed to do. It'll grow back, and it's fun, you know.
Wonderful. Oh my God. Well, congratulations to all of you. I think, and do you really think that's what pushed them to see you bald? What was the big, do you think that fired them up?
Well, I think it had a part to do with it.
Yeah.
You know, motivating 12-year-old girls, it's like some days it's hit, some days it's miss. So, you know, I was just grabbing at straws. You can't get mad at them, because then they'll shut down even more.
Yeah.
But you try to come up with something different, and eureka, this time it worked. So I don't know if I'm gonna pull that out of the bag again next time, but
I know. I was like, are you going to have a lifetime of baldness now? That's funny.
I thought about shaving my legs. You know, that came up in the conversation, but I was like, no, let's do the hair, because I don't know what would happen if I shave my legs.
Wow. Well, I mean, draw the line at eyebrows, honestly. Don't do eyebrows.
No,
Oh,
definitely
God.
not. Then I will get some crazy looks.
I know. Okay, so tell us what you do for a living and who you help, Aaron.
Okay, so I am a talent optimization specialist, and what I do is I help people focus in on making smarter decisions through instructional design, through corporate trainings, the things that people know how to do, but sometimes don't know how to deliver. And just through a venue of conversations, drilling down and finding unique solutions to helping make people feel unique, but more importantly, getting the word that they need to get across.
So who is your target?
So target could be corporate boards, it could be the C-suite, it could be professional development and HR, the academia world. So that's the beauty of my model is having the innate inability to sustain whatever the demand takes me to.
So basically, you take in the problem and you design a training or a process to overcome the problem, and then train it back to the client. Is that how it works?
It is. It could be a train the trainer client. It could be courseware. It could be a continuous evolution of things. So that's what I'm saying about a customized approach is not necessarily using a cookie cutter, but more so really dialing in to find out the specific needs. You know, if you have neurodiverse employees there, if you have something that you're trying to segue into research and development, innovative approach, you know, that's what makes it fun for me is I'm always learning as people are teaching me about the new products and features.
How did you get into this?
So my background is an educator. Started off as a math teacher, administrator, And, through that administration, part of what I did was I learned a lot about workforce development for a STEM magnet school, and just talking with people and trying to understand not only how kids work and the future of workforce development, but also how subject matters really uh, develop their craft, not only within the environment, but also how to bring it in. And I remind them it's more than just a PowerPoint presentation. It is hands-on, it is engagement. It is really taking things to the next level so that people feel empowered when they walk away from a session.
Mm. Now, having been an employee myself for 18 years, I worked for Pepsi, Pizza Hut, Frito-Lay, and then stepping out into my own business, I had to learn how to market myself and be a business person. Even though all my career was in marketing, I still had to learn how to market myself. What was it like for an ex-teacher to learn how to become this consultant who's selling himself to corporations?
It's a continuous evolution. I know that I cannot be complacent because you've got people that are smarter, better, have more resources, and that sports mentality, hating to lose, drives me to be as competitive and hopefully a little more competitive than. So it is just trying to find that right niche, trying to find the right keywords, and more importantly, the relationship building. People aren't going to care about what you know until they know that you care.
Yeah, I love all that. So this is a marketing show, as you know. So tell us about how you get your clients today without the word of mouth piece, because that you don't really have to market for that.
Right. So outside of some of the traditional things, such as newsletters and the websites, what I'm always trying to do is push through things through conferences, as you're always kind of doing some informal networking with that. If somebody brings up a brilliant point in a Zoom conference, I'll just do a direct chat. Or what I'll also do is write down the list. And as I'm writing down the list, then I'll go take a look at them on LinkedIn and then kind of see if I can make a connection from there. You know, um, for me, I've also learned that when you market yourself, it's also continuously rebranding, is identifying what is not there that your clients need to have in front of them. What is their pain point becomes your profit point, and finding the balance between the two.
You're speaking my language. You're speaking my language because A, I'm a niching coach. B, 70% of humans purchase based on pain. So I'm always basing all of my messaging on pain. And I totally agree with you on focusing in on what is it that they need. And I mean, that's how I launch brands for, every year, 7 to 10 new products have to be launched when I worked at Pepsi, Pizza Hut, Frito-Lay. But you can't cannibalize from the shelf. You're selling from the same shelf. So then that's where I learned, how do you position into a gap in the market that's not already being served, which is what you're talking about. So you're totally speaking my language.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tell us about the naked part, the naked marketing. Let's get some, honesty. Tell us about when it didn't work so well for you.
I think one thing that was totally outside of my swing zone is marketing my first book. And it is a STEM book that helps to bridge the academic and the business world together to basically benefit the community and the students. And following what has been a traditional process of marketing, you develop a 30-day, a 60-day campaign, you develop your PR process. You find ads on Google, you do the Facebook ads and things like that. So as you are dialing that in and you are continuously trying to figure out a solution, nothing was just working for me. And from what I've researched after the fact is there's no magic formula to say if you invest X in, you get Y out when it comes to marketing a book. Part of what marketing a book, it goes back to what I knew from day one, is building relationships with people, starting your circle in, starting strong, and having them spark it so that it becomes an inferno, a viral inferno, so that people will want to be a part of it, and more importantly, want to take away with something that you're sharing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know how many books you have, but I have 4, and what I learned is paid PR, and I used to pay for PR, not for myself, but when I hired companies, we had a PR company always for, I mean, for Pepsi, Pizza Hut, Frito-Lay, of course you would, but I had to cold call my way, and I cold called my own way into morning news producers, and all in the US, and I'm in Canada. But so I did like 19 appearances with my books. So that's why I have so many books. But that's when I totally learned, but I had to pay a coach who himself learned that every appearance he was being charged by the PR person for $1,500, and he could just call in on his own and get in. But what he taught us is who to call, how to call, and what to say. And that's how I got all those. I mean, there's students in there, they have 60 appearances, right?
Yeah.
So I totally agree with you. So what do you do now? Has that experience sort of scared you off of hiring experts in marketing, or is it just that one area of marketing, or how has it changed you and your business, that mistake?
It's not necessarily scared me off. I think it's trying to figure out what's going to work smarter for me. Obviously, resources are very arbitrary, so you have to be very careful in how much you spend out. You know, at that point in time, it was throwing darts in the wall. And I think more importantly, you have to be laser focused when you're doing something like this. Are you trying to hit a specific niche? Are you trying to hit a specific region? What is the CMA to companies very similar to what I'm doing? And more importantly, how can I position myself so that I'm either taking market share away, or, I'm developing something that's innate and they can't steal it from me.
And I love your idea of contacting people in targeted conferences who have invested their time and their money to be there. Most conferences you don't have to pay for, but some you do. So how does that convert? Does that often convert into, oh, let's hop on a Zoom chat and they're willing to work with you? Or is that a much longer way than it used to be when it was face to face?
It's both. I think for me, number one is, how can I benefit from a relationship with this person? And it doesn't necessarily have to mean a paycheck. It can mean the connection to more resources. It could be a connection to somebody that I've been trying to reach for years. So, the reciprocation of that is, what can I do for them that
Sure.
makes them want us to stay in touch with one another?
Yeah.
And to me, it's more than just a business card and just an occasional cup of coffee, but really doing that, stop and really, how are you? How's your family? And laughing at stories like my head, for example, and those are moments where they will remember you as a person and not necessarily somebody that's trying to sell something.
Yeah, that's wonderful advice. Now, yeah. So do you have any other parting advice before we let you go to our audience?
Just do your homework. If you think you know somebody at a conference, don't be afraid to talk to them, and just say, hey, look, I thought you had a really cool comment on here. Tell me a little bit more about you, and I'd love to hear a little bit more about what you're working. And as you do that, set up your homework, your preliminary homework. Look on LinkedIn what kind of work they have been done and they're known for. Do your Google search of the company to find out actually how much the revenue was last year, and little things like that. And you drop a nugget here and there during the conversation, then it's really going to be genuine and hopefully fruitful at the end.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for being a guest. Tell us how we can reach you.
You can follow me on LinkedIn and Twitter. LinkedIn is just Aaron Smith, PhD. If you want to email me, it is aaron@aaronsmithphd.com. Definitely check out my website, and I love to hear from everybody.
So you don't call yourself a doctor?
No, ma'am. I only use that when the kids need appointments. So like if they're sick, and it does seem to bump me up the weight line a little bit, but it's not in a title,
Yeah, that's so funny. Well, I know I'd use it if I had it, because that wasn't easy to get, was it?
It wasn't easy, but just persistence brings success. And that's kind of my approach to life, is you can't be shut down at the first time. You just got to keep going and going.
That's wonderful. It is such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you. I really appreciate it and had a lot of fun with you.
I know. Thank you.